Yeah, so we met a long time ago at a karate tournament.
Yes.
Karate's my background. It's kind of my base, but I've really done a lot throughout the years. I started karate when I was about 3 years old. Bounced around, did a couple different styles there. Started in point karate, then went to knockdown. Uh, Went back to point style because there were no knockdown schools near me at the time. Eventually, I switched over and tried kickboxing. Really liked kickboxing, had fun. Uh, my coach made me box because coming from karate, my kicks were really good, but my hands, not so much. So
That's the problem. Yep.
right, so he made me box. Then a couple of us convinced our coach that we wanted to try Muay Thai, and so we did Muay Thai for a little bit. Then I ended up moving for university to go to college. No real kickboxing, no real Muay Thai, no real good karate around us. But we did have some MMA, and they asked me to come in to help teach the striking. Me and my infinite wisdom, I did, and they weren't great strikers because most of them didn't have training, but they got sick of getting beat up and said, "Hey, let's do MMA sparring." In my infinite wisdom, I said, "Yes, let's do it." So obviously, I got taken down, I got mounted, and I got punched in the face until I gave up. So then I decided to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Did a couple wrestling practices with some friends and some good coaches,
Okay.
but haven't done like a lot of wrestling. Just really focusing on driving in some basics.
Okay.
But
What was the time frame for all these? Like, how long were you just doing karate? How long did it take before you moved over? And then how long were you doing all the ground stuff?
Okay, so karate, I started when I was 3, and basically been doing it on and I did it consistently pretty much most days of my life until I was about 14, 15.
Okay.
And then it became a little less frequent. I was doing it, I was training, and I was helping my dad teach at his small little school that he opened.
Okay.
Then at 18 is when I started kickboxing. 18 to 20, I think the whole time frame was like 2 to 2.5 years.
Okay.
I found a gym that I was training at. That's where I did kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai during that time.
Okay.
Then I moved out to Monterey, and I ended up doing, had some people that I wanted to train with, and we did some small training, and that's when I got into MMA. But I wasn't really being trained in MMA very much. I was mostly coaching the kickboxing side, and they would show me some things every once in a while.
Okay.
When we met, I think right after we met is when I started jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's still been a good amount of time.
Well, so jiu-jitsu is weird for me because I was at a school that was really, really bad.
Okay.
I got a blue belt in 4 months.
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I was beating the instructor.
Okay, can we take a step back? I really thought Jiu-Jitsu was the only, like, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was the one style that had still had some immunity to this happening. Oh no.
The same thing that happened to karate is happening to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh no. That's awful.
So basically for like 3 years, about there, a buddy of mine and we bought mats and we taught ourselves jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
I'm a huge nerd, so I was fortunate.
Okay.
Basically, I would look at like high-level black belts, and I'd watch the moves that they did, like how did they pass guard, and then I would drill how they would pass guard.
Okay.
And so I got better. It was good. But then I recently found the gym that I train at now, Elite Team Monterey. Okay. And the coach is phenomenal. Like for anybody who knows me from Elite Team, maybe sees this or whatever, I've watched good black belts from around the area come in, and I've watched my coach practice moves on them during live rolls.
Okay, so he's real good. He's high level. He's toying around with other black belts.
He's
high level.
Yeah, and he's a huge nerd as well. So like my game is taking a huge improvement. I'm a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay. Not a blue belt in 4 month style, but a real purple belt. Let's just make that clear, guys.
Yeah. So like I'm
legit purple belt now in Jiu-Jitsu. Not a blue belt in 4 months, kind of. Like,
yeah, I went from a blue belt in 4 months, kind of blue belt, to I'm a real purple belt. We do open mats, and we have purple belts that come in, and I can hang with all of them. Okay. So it's really helped my game a lot. Good. So the last 2 years ish, yeah. So last little over 2 years, minus a pandemic. So
haven't really been able to slow everybody down a lot, especially in the jiu-jitsu world. It's hard, man. It's hard.
But yeah, so
I've had professional friends who have the money who have left the country so they could do their jiu-jitsu somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I 100% believe it.
It's wild, but people, I have some friends who went out to Mexico. Even though I don't even know if they have like a huge jiu-jitsu scene, but I have a couple friends who are pros who went out there. Because it's hard. I mean, you're stagnating. It's easier to do striking, on a bag, on a mat with pad work even, and be wearing masks or whatever. But it's real difficult with.
Yeah, well, so you can like get a really good workout striking wise with pull noodles, right? Yeah. Kind of pull noodle. Now you have social distance because you're 6 feet apart. Yeah. But jiu-jitsu, right now, kind of one of the things we're looking at an Elite Team is possibly when we start to slowly be allowed to reopen is doing a dummy class where we basically just drill basics on dummies.
Okay.
And like, I know a lot of guys who are like, oh, I'm better than that. Like I'm a purple belt and I still go to beginners classes.
I do that same thing in Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And karate. I'll drop into the beginner class anytime.
Well, it's like the 80-20 rule. 80% of success comes from 20% of your technique. No, that's you don't win fights very often because you have a really cool jump spinning hook kick. You win fights because your jab beats up the other guy who gets so frustrated that you can land your jump spinning hook kick.
Yeah. So, no, that's very true. It's like basics wins fights. Basics win fights.
Yeah.